Money is not a fucking goal. Money is a tool. Welcome back. Derek Hagan here. I am a person who sees the world through the lens of meaning in life. That is, what makes life worth living? What makes life worth valuable? How can you bounce back and learn from the past? So I'm doing a lot of work around mindfulness, resilience, personal values, purpose, everything that we can do to make ourselves more grateful and not take life for granted. In my professional life, this shows up with a weekly column I write, Money's Role in a Meaningful Life. Check that out at meaning.blog if you like. Here with another Ren reaction. Now, everyone's been so amazing. Telling me, tips and tricks and what else I should check out. Money Game, probably because of my professional role as a financial therapist and financial psychology expert. Everybody says you got to check out this Money Game. And in Hi Ren, I thought he said money when he was saying man he. So obviously there was some kind of I was predisposed to hear money. So everybody said check out Money Game. Money Game Part 1. And then they said check out Money Game Part 2. And I'm told Money Game Part 3 is coming out. So without further ado, Ren, Money Game. I'm going to listen to it first. I'm not going to talk, or try not to. And then I'll come back and analyze it through the lens of financial psychology, economics, all things nerdy and money. So let's check it out. Let's get it.
It's a strange time we're living in. War can put fear in. Hierarchy parties, they make us feel inferior. Greed runs through parliament interiors. Devils walk among us, they fit the criteria. Eerie theory, strife, fearing, weary-minded men when we're clearly living in dictatorships. Nearly blinded by illusions to choose who's fooling who. A ball chained to your shoes, I'm pained. It's a crying shame. The pursuit of our own wealth lights a flame that makes greed a game that lets this whole war burn. As the world turns, the whole world burns. But money was invented for trade, but now those bits of paper twist hearts, make slaves, turns a saint into a sinner, a child into a killer. His finger on the trigger of a money game. Oh, rain, 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 a storm it comes our way, and those who rise to distorted lies, poison in the veins, but we like to point the blame, 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 blame. It's easier to blame, but point the mirror at ourselves. We're all part of this old money game. Stop.
Who's playing?
Dear Mr. President, it's evident that everyone's a resident of fear when they support these ideas to keep us separate, when they make us believe that everybody is coming to terrorize you in the streets. They say badly through gritted teeth, that's my right to hate, that's freedom of speech. But when did freedom become a reason to hate? A way to justify a racist slur or insult we make? There's an irony in freedom, cause us in the West, we have pillaged and plundered the murder like savages, colonized all of the rest. That's called hypocrisy. Preach a certain value that you never keep yourselves. Your country was in flames, you denigrate yourselves in a second. Still you spit your venom, demonizing immigrants when really you're the immigrant, cause all of us are immigrants or descended from immigrants. Irony is imminent. I'll shed the light on immigrants. America was colonized by Britain. Britain, it was colonized by Rome, and also colonized by the Saxons. They were German, by the way. You know how people throw shade upon the Germans because of history's pain, and yet we made the same mistakes all again. Demonize a whole people, Jewish or Muslim, the same and the same. Old situations play on repeat, the same old TV shows repeat. Yeah, we worship the bleak, our opinions aren't our own, and we follow like sheep. There's no left, there's no right, in the middle we sleep. Rain, 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 a storm it comes our way, and those who rise through distorted lies, poison in the veins, but we like to point the blame, 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 blame. It's easier to blame, but point the mirror at ourselves. We're all part of this whole money game. This old money game.
There, he's cut. There's a lot to unpack in this one. Holy mother. So, that was a nod to... Boy, I didn't know he was going to do that, or I would have done my research. I'm totally blanking on the monk who did it. There's a famous photograph, demonstration, where... God dang it, I can't remember the specifics now. But, effectively, a monk went out into the middle of the street. His buddies, or his fellow monks, doused him in gas. And he sat there meditating while they lit him on fire. This was a demonstration to shine a light on religious freedom. The Buddhists weren't being welcomed, I guess. And again, I probably have my specifics, my details wrong, because I did not know he was going to go there. So, okay, so I want to check this out again, and let's go through it. I pulled up the lyrics just in case. Sometimes when he raps really fast, my ears don't work that quickly, and those folks from the pond, it takes me a little bit to catch up with what they're saying. So I got the lyrics here just because I don't want to get anything wrong. But let's check it out again and see what's up.
It's a strange time we're living in. War can put fear in. Hierarchy parties, they make us feel inferior. Greed runs through parliament interiors. Devils walk among us, they fit the criteria. Eerie theory, strife, fearing, weary-minded men when we're clearly living in dictatorships. Nearly blinded by illusions to choose who's fooling who. A ball chained to your shoes on pain. It's a crying shame. The pursuit of our own wealth lights a flame.
The pursuit of our own wealth lights the flame. So what he's talking... Well, when I say what he's talking about, please just insert my interpretation of what he's talking about. I'm not mind reading. I heard the often misquoted Bible verse, the money's the root of all evil, but instead it's actually the love of money or the pursuit of money is the root of all evil, and that's what he just said, right? So it's the pursuit of wealth. It's the pursuit of wealth that lights the flame. Now I wonder if that's what he's talking about later when he threatens to burn this guitar player and then burns himself. But well, let's keep going. So I think the money game is, well, forget it. I'm going to keep going. I have a lot to say about this, but I'm going to get through the end.
It makes greed the game that lets this whole world burn. As the world turns, the whole world burns. But money was invented for trade, but now those bits of paper twist hearts, make slaves, turns us.
I mean, he's 100% right. Money was invented for trade, and now those bits of paper turn us into slaves. That's it. I mean, money is itself a unit of exchange. It's a way to store value. It's a way to transfer purchases through time. And the problem that a lot of us get into, especially in the West, I think he even talks about the West later on in the song, we assign meaning to money that money was never meant to have. You know, what does money mean to you? Answer that question. Because you probably said freedom, or you said security, or something related to that, or money means power, or money means greed, or whatever. But that's not it. That's only what we give it. We assign that meaning to money. Money itself is nothing. And that's what he just said here. So let's get back.
But money was invented for trade, but now those bits of paper twist hearts, make slaves, turns a saint into a sinner, a child into a killer. His finger on the trigger of a money game.
Yeah, exactly. So because we make the money the goal, people get crazy by it. They do anything for money. But remember, this is the main thing that I knock into my clients' heads. Anybody who reads anything that I write, anybody who listens to any speech that I give, money is a tool. Money is not a goal. And what that tool is used for, it's an important tool. You need to know how to care for it. You need to know how to tend for it. You can't be reckless with this tool, but it is just a tool. And what does this tool need to do for you? That's your life. That's your meaningful life. So that's the distinction. So too many people view money as a goal. What does that sound like? I can retire as soon as I get $2 million. I can retire as soon as I get $70,000 a year for my portfolio. I want to retire at 40 and be part of this FIRE movement. Wrong. What are you going to do with that $2 million or that $70,000? Or what are you going to do with your life once you're retired and 40? You can't use money as a goal. That's the biggest shift I think people need to make. Because if we view money as a goal, then we're going to have the child killers and whatever else he said and pull the trigger on the money game.
Oh, rain, 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 rain. A storm, it comes our way. And those who rise through distorted lies, poison in the veins, but we dodge point the blame, 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 blame. It's easier to blame, but point the mirror at ourselves. We're all part of this old money game.
Stop. I mean, we're all part of it because we think we're supposed to. So there's this consumerism culture, at least in the United States, probably mostly in the West, where you have to buy. You can't be happy until you buy this. You can't be happy until you have that. And we got ourselves into this because we want everything to be free. I don't want to pay for TV. I don't want to pay for radio. I don't want to pay for my podcast. I don't want to pay for this. I don't want to pay for that. Well, guess what? That has to be funded somehow, and it's funded by marketers. So we got ourselves in this game because we thought free meant free, but instead we're paying with our attention. We're paying with marketing tricks. We're paying with messages that constantly tell us that we're not good enough. Also, who is playing this guitar if it's not him? It's another eerie scene. This is the theme that I'm picking up, these crazy, eerie settings. But maybe it would be way too much trickery. I want to say Ren is playing the guitar and playing Ren. But I don't think that's possible. That would be way too difficult to do. So, somebody's playing this guitar. I don't know who. What's he do with these gloves? This is an intimidation technique. I've got a bet and I want you to be scared.
Dear Mr. President, it's evident that everyone's a resident of fear when they support these ideas to keep us separate, when they make us believe that everybody is coming to terrorize you in the streets. They say badly through gritted teeth, that's my right to hate, that's freedom of speech. But when did freedom become a reason to hate, a way to justify a racist slur or insult we make? There's an irony in freedom, cause us in the West, we have pillaged and plundered the murder like savages, colonized all of the rest. That's called hypocrisy. Preach a certain value that you...
I gotta check that out on the lyrics.
To justify a racist slur or insult we make. There's an irony in freedom, cause us in the West, we have pillaged and plundered the murder like savages, colonized all of the rest. That's called hypocrisy.
Alright, yes. So, freedom. This word gets attacked by whichever side you happen to be on, or if you're not teams, every person assigns a different meaning to freedom, just like they assign a different meaning to the word money. But he said something to the effect, I guess I got the lyrics here. I can believe that everybody is going to terrorize me, and I can say it's my right to hate because it's freedom of speech. That's not true. It's your right to voice opinions, and I suppose it's your right to hate. You don't have to. You can't be forced to like anybody. So when did freedom become a reason to hate? Well, freedom's a reason to hate if somebody's trying to take away your freedom, and I hate that person for taking away my freedom. Justifying racial slurs, well, that's when people just use it as... You see this a lot, too, with people saying, I'm just being honest, and then they insult you and say, well, I thought you wanted me to be honest. Don't use freedom, don't use honesty as a guise for being a jerk. Now, the irony in freedom, it says... In the West, we've pillaged and plundered and murdered like savages, colonized all of the rest, which is true. That's our species. I mean, that's every animal. Like that's what happens, and we're in a world now where we can stop ourselves from, hopefully, can stop ourselves from these instincts. Now, freedom though, freedom. My right to freedom stops if I impinge on your freedom to do what you want. So my right to swing my fist ends at your face. So that's what a properly designed society will set up. So I give up a little bit of freedom, like my right to punch you in the face, so that you don't punch me in the face. This is better than a whole world where everybody has the right to do everything. Now, you would hope people have different views on this. If left to our own devices, would people punch people in the face just for the sake of punching? Kind of looks like it. That's the post-2020 world we've seen. But a lot of that is driven by division. And a lot of people, myself included, believe that this is weaponized division. It's people... Confirmation bias is the idea that I'm only going to seek out stuff that confirms what I actually believe. This is very, very powerful. We do not want to be wrong. I'm going to ignore, not on purpose, I'm going to ignore evidence that tells me that I might be wrong, and I'm going to go look for reasons that make me right. Now, that was true. That's always been true. But now what happens when I can pick who I follow on social media? What happens when I click on these kinds of articles and the algorithms only give me those kinds of articles? What happens if I only watch Fox or I only watch CNN? What happens if I only have this news app that gives me this certain kind of story? Now I don't even know that there's other points of view. So then when I'm confronted with people who have other points of view, it's like, who the hell are you? So anyway, this is a whole. I got on a rant here about his freedom talk. So let's get back to it.
Reach a certain value that you never keep yourselves. Your country was in flames. You denigrate yourselves in a second. Still you spit your venom, demonizing immigrants when really you're the immigrant. Cause all of us are immigrants or descended from immigrants. Irony is
We're all immigrants or descended from immigrants, correct? This is interesting. So try this. Try this on for size. If somebody says, where are you from? You can say your country where you live. I'm from the United States. No, your ancestors. Where did your ancestors come? Well, Norway. Well, where did those ancestors come? And eventually you trace this back, and everybody comes from Africa. I mean, we're all evolved from the same species of people in Africa. So when somebody says, where are you from, or what's your heritage, it's like they're asking for an arbitrary stopping point. Because I don't want you to say America. I want you to go back further than that. But I don't want you to say Africa. So I don't want you to go all the way back. So I want some arbitrary stopping point in the middle. But yes, 100 correct. We're all immigrants. We're all part of one species. We're all descended from the same human number one.
imminent. I'll shed the light on immigrants. America was colonized by Britain. Britain, it was colonized by Rome. And also colonized by the Saxons. They were German, by the way. You know how people throw shade upon the Germans because of history's pain, and yet we make the same mistakes all again. Demonize a whole people, Jewish or Muslim, the same and the same. Old situations play on repeat. The same old TV shows repeat. Yeah, we worship the bleak. Our opinions are our own and we follow like sheep. There's no left, there's no right. In the middle we sleep. Rain, 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 rain. A storm it comes our way. And those who rise through distorted lies, poison in the veins. But we'd like to point the blame, 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 blame. It's easier to blame, but point the mirror at ourselves. We're all part of this whole money game.
So he's right now drawing eyes on it, but I don't know what I thought he was going to happen. I thought they were going to do a trick when the camera falls down that they get rid of one person, bring in a dummy, and then light the dummy on fire so it looks like you lit a person on fire. That's what I thought was going to happen. But he just drew these weird eyes. He changes his mind. And then he goes down and sits down and is going to light himself on fire. So this is definitely a song about not liking the fact that money has been propped up and put up on a pedestal. And I will agree with him there. I'll hit it again here at the end of this video. Money is not a fucking goal. Money is a tool. Your life is your goal. What do you want out of life? And then how can you use money? How can you live the best life possible with the money that you have? You don't need to chase money for money's sake. You don't need to let money corrupt you. You don't need to let power corrupt you. You need to learn what is it like. What would you want to do at the end of your life, looking back and say, I did it. What do you want to say I did it about? Because if you get caught up in it, then you light yourself on fire. You get crazy. You get lost. You do well. You get all these promotions. And then you need more promotions. And then you need more stuff. And then you need better cars. And then where does it stop? You're on an endless pursuit of more. Define what you need to do to get to the end of your life and say, I did it, and I would do it again. See you next time.